She said, and like they sent it to the insurance and they approved it within the. So they have 2 scheduled for one leg and 1 scheduled for the other leg.
Okay.
They don't know if they're gonna need 2, but they're gonna do the one leg bad leg, real bad leg, and they're gonna do the other leg, and they're gonna go back and see if they have to do another thing on. And they explained it to me and I listened. And then they asked if I wanted material on the procedure. I'm like, yes, because I'm going to give it to my husband, but I don't want to think about it.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to hear what you're gonna do. It's just.
Yeah, I would, right. Yeah,
Take out major things in my body and my body's still. I know, I need body practice thing would be to do. But
right.
the doctor didn't appreciate my thing. Oh, so you're gonna talk about. Forget it. You didn't think about it. They. Then when the comes and we're to adhesives, I'm like, I think so. I've never.
Adhesives where?
They put the main vein, it's not functioning, that it's basically, it's not pushing my blood tap. It's stagnant. And it's not the varicose veins that are the issue, it's the vein feeding them somewhere deep down in here.
Yeah.
So they put a little thing in, little thing in, and they squirt medicine and adhesive into your vein and it causes it to collapse. And then they go in and make some mix. Some little dead veins that have resulted as from this one collapsing. And in the meantime, while you're out the blood rack, I'm like, where?
How?
Where?
I mean, hey, I think we can agree. It's like, yes, our bodies are amazing, but so many surgeries. Like Nina had a surgery, you're gonna have surgery, Marion just had surgery. A procedure? That's a procedure? That's a pretty. Yeah. Yes.
Trying really hard to do everything I can do to be.
Yeah. You look like you're more upright.
I think that's Dolma. She stopped, like we were focusing on pain and everything else, but now whatever she's doing, she's focusing on drawing me up. And I can definitely, like, my pain isn't, it's like it's marching slowly down the back.
Okay.
It's not even pain per se, it's like she's forcing things down here to start doing their job. And they're like, we don't want to do it. We haven't been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I still, after graduation.
And she does acupuncture, right? So she's really working the energy and like the fascia lines, which is going to free you up to be more mobile in like thoracic stuff, like twists and everything. So the combination.
Very sleepy. I managed to sleep, but I really hate it. Right now, I feel like it's funny that you're a walk thing.
Yeah.
I feel like my hips are having issues, but it's almost like not my back issue, is that I'm getting older.
That
or I didn't drink enough.
Take that with a grain of salt, because old creaky issues. Hi. No. So welcome back.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
And just so you know, you're not going to be on video. I'm going to just pin myself.
Okay.
How did you feel from last week?
Oh, great. Yeah. And, I've been trying to do at least the first 3 cars that I remember.
Yeah.
And more or less daily. And it's really helped. So
Isn't it great? It's almost like, you just get a little, like, I always think of like the oil can.
yeah.
Like the oil can, and you just get like you just get oiled up in each spot. And you may notice, like, I'm glad you noticed the difference. Sometimes it can be really, like I was talking about, it can be like really subtle. But it's simple, right? It's not, you know, how I said last week, it's like, it's not like Instagram, like, ooh, watch me do this. But that's the reason that it's so important, is it's the basic stuff.
Yeah.
And those folks that can like put their leg up over their head and stuff, they'd be able to do that no matter what.
Okay.
They'd be able to do that no matter what, in my opinion. But yeah, so today, last week we had a couple of new folks, including yourself. So we spent a little bit more time in cars. And now I'm remembering, did I ever send you, I've been so terrible this week. Did I ever send you the video of cars, or did you find it on
No,
the site?
no, I haven't received it. I was going to ask you about it today, but yeah,
Okay.
it's no biggie.
I'm writing it in big letters.
Okay, thank you.
It's also, if you're a member on Moving Well with Sue, the website, if you're a member, there's actually a section with free content, and I think the cars is in there too.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you one. There's a detailed one, and then there's one that's like really like a quicker one.
Okay.
So either way, but
Cool.
today with Kinstretch, we're gonna do cars, but we're gonna move fairly quickly through them. I'm going to be able to hear you if you want to ask a question. This class isn't one of those like quiet
Okay.
classes. You can ask questions, because it really does help. Sometimes it can really help the group too, if there's a question they're asking that.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to make you big here so I can just see you. And I'm hoping that this view for you, I think this view is going to work much better
Okay.
than the last one there. Okay. All right. I don't need to see me, but it's making me see me. Oh, there we go. Now you're all big.
Okay.
Hi. All right. We're going to start in like 1 minute. How are you, Carol? It's a, it's a holiday weekend. People are
So I'm driving out. You know, when I first moved out here, this building.
Oh, wait, 1 second. Clarissa, before we start,
Mhm.
have a chair, something that you can sit on. It could be that
Okay.
ottoman thing that I think you had last time.
Okay.
And do you have do you have a broom or like a Swiffer? Or
Like
something
a
that's like a
rod thing?
pole?
Okay, yeah, I can get one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Normally I
Okay.
remember to send it out, but I actually changed my mind on what we were doing today.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Hi, everybody.
They move the cars off Main Street and start first. The people keep their lawn chairs out when they want to stand for the parade. They do it the night before. When I first came out here from living in DC and Arlington, I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm the exact same thing. I said, but where I can live in DC, because I was like, before the chair's gone, man.
Yeah.
She said, you don't touch anybody's chair. If there's a chair there, you don't touch it. It still cracks me up, but I've never been where people do that and expect their chair to be the next day.
All right.
It's weird.
Look at that. That's perfect. See, I made a bunch out of PVC,
Oh, yeah.
and then this is the chair, the chair. What are they called? What are they called? Like the chair stopper or whatever.
Yeah,
See,
Oh, nice.
chair feet.
yeah.
Yeah, this thickness though, like I can give you this information if you want it, but I've just been giving them out. Because they're really great, not only for like, we did the shoulder, like you do like the shoulder work, and we're going to do extension today, which we did. Do you remember that one from earlier? Yeah. I don't think you did this one, Clarissa. So it's part of the reason why I added it in, because this one is so awesome. But you can also do, which we will do next month. We also can do resistant elbow work, which it looks like, oh, wow, like Oh yeah, I could totally do that. It's the weirdest. Like, you know, when you hit your fingernail and you get like it hits you in the stomach where you're like, oh, like that really hurt. Like it's that sort of like discomfort. But afterwards, you're just like, oh my gosh. Because this, you know what this is important for? Eating, which I love to eat. So I'll work that, I'll work my elbow.
And
Yes.
cocktails, don't forget.
You what?
And cocktails.
Oh, yes, yes, this, very important. And that's also like wrist, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So think of that when you do cars. Like, what is I would call this like fire hydrant, which we don't do, but dogs do. I do hip cars with my dog, by the way, which is like when she stands it. But let's get started. So you can be in standing or seated position, whichever one you want, right? We still have a neck. Our neck can still move in all these different positions. And this is the Kinstretch. So we are going to, we're starting a little bit late, but that's okay because we have that little buffer in between classes. If that's okay with you. I want to get the full 45 minutes in. So start to brace through your body. So anytime we're doing a car and we're starting with the neck, you want to be able to move the neck, but brace the rest of the body. Arms out to the side, fists with the hands, actively punch down. You'll notice this is going to go a little bit faster if I can get myself to shut up. Head, chin comes down to the chest. And start your neck circle. You can scrape the chin along the collarbone, look to the right, dip the ear down, and bring it around. So we want a little bit of tilt in the neck. And do 3 to the right. And then if you need to reset, go ahead and reset, brace through the body, drop the chin to the chest, go to the left, scrape the chin along the collarbone, look, dip, up and over. You might hear crunchies. You might notice that your crunchies and cracks are getting a little bit less. 3, 2, 1. If you didn't do 3 and you're going super slow, just complete your 3, right? You'll be able to catch up. Now remember the flexion, twisting, dipping, up and over is the same in the thoracic spine. You can grab something if you want to hug onto something. There's so many different. You'll notice, Clarissa, I'll just sprinkle in variations that you can do or not do, right? It's up to you. But you can hold on to something just to give you a little bit of that external feedback. Brace through the body, especially through the glutes and the quads, and everything below your belly button stays still. Crunch down. Feel a stretch in the mid upper back. Twist to the right. Keep the knees facing forward. Don't let your pelvis drag with you, right? Squeeze, dip the shoulder down towards the right hip, and then come up and over to the other side. Oh, good. I'm not blocking the mic. And dip and twist and bring it forward. Go to the right again. This is the spot that's contracting for you to twist. And you may get a cramp if you go to find that spot. You might get a cramp. And then reset, and then we'll go to the left. So crunch down, twist, really squeeze right here, and then dip into that space and come up and over. And when we dip, we're opening up that opposite side. So do 3, take your time. If I always suggest, don't blow through these. When you start to get used to cars, you might start blowing through the cars because you're thinking of, oh, I got the movement down. But you really want to keep digging deeper and wringing out the joints. So I'll remind you in class, I'll be like, we're going to slow this down, and then you can curse at me if you want. Which does happen in class, Clarissa. Sometimes I get the, oh, fuck. When the slowdown happens. Let's do our shoulder blades. I'm not going to pass those out yet. Let's do our shoulder blades. So you can bring your arms forward, Make fists with your hands. Again, brace through everything. You can even tuck your chin back if you want to, because sometimes our neck gets a little bit nosy. And start to contract through your arm all the way up to your shoulder. And maybe even see if you can contract through the back of your shoulder. That's going to help you squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other, towards your spine. Keep them squeezed and then lift them up towards the back of your head. Keeping the elbows straight, it's almost like you're moving on a shelf. Now separate the shoulder blades. Your arms are probably going to come forward and then drop them down. Back and squeeze, up and squeeze, forward and down. This last one goes slow. Keep your elbows straight. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift them up. And separate them. Your arms are going to reach forward and then push them down. It's hard not to bend your elbows, isn't it? That's why, so this is a perfect example. Sometimes we go, look, my shoulder blades are moving. And it's like, nope, your shoulder blades, you can even do it like exaggerated and fast. Your shoulder blades help you pick things up and reach for things, right? That's why doing some sort of external feedback, like your hands on the wall, blocks you from bending that elbow. So let's bring the arms out to the side. We're going to hold our bowls of soup. If anyone would like to do one arm at a time, you can do so. We're going to do 3. Hold the bowls of soup. Now slowly cross the arms across your chest. Bring them up into your flexion, right? If you start doing this, you're going too far. Try to keep everything braced. Dump the bowls of soup out. Your thumbs are going to point down towards the floor, and then they're going to start to point towards each other, and then the back of the room. Kick it right straight back. Feel the triceps fire up. That's the back here. And then spin the biceps towards the ceiling. I'm going to give you back your bowls of soup, and you're going to reach back as you lift your arms into flexion and around. Okay, these last 2 a little bit faster. Hold the bowls of soup, cross over in front, come up into flexion, dump the bowls of soup out. Everything is happening because you're moving your biceps and you're spinning your biceps. So you're really wringing out the doorknob that is your shoulder. Kick it back. You might be going a little bit faster. Maybe you got 4 in. Cool. Right? Shake it out. And elbows and wrists real quick. So pin your biceps to your side, palms up, bring them in, flip, and push the air down. Flip up and flip down. Flip up and pause. You're so sleepy. No, you're okay. I'm yawning in my brain. Back of the hands down and flip. We're just changing the orientation. 3, 2, and 1. Think of those cocktails and those I don't know, whatever you like to eat. Pin the biceps, palms up, make fists with your hands. Remember, keep the forearms still. If you have a like Fitbit or something on, you can even stare at it. All right, bring them down. We're just doing wrist circles, right? So just do wrist circles, but don't move the forearms. All right, firm up those forearms, Clarissa, and Carol. Firm up those forearms. It's not about going further here. It might be little. There you go. There you go. Feels different, right? This might be crunchy too. My wrists are super crunchy. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. So to complete our upper body, we're going to do spine segmentations. Now, you at home, you're okay with going down on your knees? You're good with your knees? Okay. Options here. I love starting spine segmentation. If you are able to go down onto your knees, you can come down on all 4s. So your hands are below your shoulders. If there's any discomfort in your wrists, you can even come up on your fists or place a blanket underneath. I always have little ways to do this, but you can have like a blanket and like have your hands where your wrists are a little bit higher up. There we go. Now, Clarissa, are you familiar with cat-cow? Okay, so we're basically doing cat-cow, and if you want to watch, and if you guys can start, if you know this and you're like, I'm good, you can start. So I'm going to start with extension. If you just want to watch for this first round, you're going to see I'm going to start by tucking my pelvis in. So basically, we're not going to be doing this. We're going to be doing a wave because your whole spine is vertebra, like each vertebra. So why not try to articulate each? It can help disperse load. It can help relieve back pain, and it can decrease inflammation, right? So I start here. And I slowly start to just tuck my pelvis under. My head's not moving. My mid and my upper back are trying to stay in extension. And I tuck under until I can't help but move that lower spine. Lower spine starts to lift, the mid back and the upper back. And then my head comes down. And then we do the opposite. Show your bum to the back of the room. Lower back, mid back, upper back. I make it sound so easy, right? But give it a try. I'm going to cue you through. So start with your belly going towards the ground and coming into, okay, you got it. You're rounding your back, which is okay. Round your back and really find more roundness. Tuck your bum under. Yeah. Does that feel different, right? Now try to maintain with the head down and the back nice and rounded, and show your bum to the back of the room, almost like there's a doorknob right at your hip and I'm turning it. So show your bum. Yeah, I see the wrinkles in your shirt. Whoop, whoop. That's a, yep. Now lower back starts to go down towards the floor. Keep going. And then your mid back, and then nice. And your upper back, and then you're going to gently gaze up. So now your back is arched. Does that term work for you? Okay. Now keep everything arched. And now I'm turning your butt under. It sounds really weird. Turn your butt under. So start to tuck under. Do you feel any like crazy spots in your lower abdominal area that's contracting? It may happen once you keep refining it. Ooh, there you go. Lower, mid, upper, and then really exhale and round that spine, tucking the, yeah, there you go. So do one more round of that. It seems like it makes sense to you. And you can even imagine those wrinkles in your shirt, right? Like for you, Allison, I see the wrinkles start, right? When you're in flexion, it's all like, it can be all smooth. And then if you see, you're going to start to see a wrinkle, right? In my lower back, mid back, and upper back. So if you take a video of yourself, you can even see it happening. There you go. It's much different than cat-cow. Cat-cow can actually, cat-cow's fine, but it can also continue to express our hinge points that we might have in our back. So a lot of us have a hinge point where most of the load goes in our backs. Most of us have it right here, which I do too. Okay, so if you're down, we're going to do hip cars. So Clarissa, if you want to try hip cars laying on your side, I think I mentioned that last week. It's kind of a cool way, unless you want to do it standing again, just to get the idea of it. I'm going to demo laying down. So if anyone wants to try it. And I'm going to face in a direction where you'll be able to see it. So my knees are bent, laying on my side. If you need something for your head, you can. And I like to clasp my hands and keep my arms straight and start to gently push them into the floor. And then I also push my base leg down into the floor. And it's going to be the same cueing, but you're just in a different position. So slowly start to pull your knee into your chest and then swing it out to the side. Don't lean back. Try to keep and find that hinge. That's going to happen right here. Wherever you stop, you might feel a little contraction. Then spin the thigh in and down. Your foot's probably going to come up. And allow the knee to go back a little bit and bring it around to the starting position. push the heel back. Don't arch the back because this isn't about our lower back. Just push back until you feel that hinge here and you might feel a little contraction. And then peel the knee away, spinning the thigh out and back, high and wide. Bring it around. So do 2 more on this side. Knee pulls in, swing it out, internal, bring it around, and then kick it back, peel the knee away. Knee pulls in, swings out, internally rotate, reach it back. We're just riding the femur in that hip socket, kick it back, peel the knee away, bring it around. Is this your first time doing side? Laying down? Oh, I love it. It's definitely, do you like it too, Clarissa? It's definitely, yeah. And you can even imagine like your whole upper body is a fist. So you can even bring like the front of your pelvis and your rib cage down into one another. And that actually like locks your upper body in too. So let's do the other side. Right? It's a lot different than the wall because you're actually blocking that whole side of your body. So it's harder for you to rock and roll and use all these other things to get that to happen. And this way you're trying this now. You may really love this. So in any class that we do, and I say, we're going to do hip cars and I'm standing, drop down and do them the way that you want to, right? Now you have this in your library and your toolbox to use. Nice control. Do you even feel that femur like riding around the socket? Like you can almost feel the edges, right? And this blocking, right, Allison, on the floor. I'm just going to be talking, you know, well, I like when you look at me too. But while you're doing it here, it's actually going to help you when you're in standing and when you want to do other variations, right? Because then you can think like, oh, wow, like I had so much more range. And then you switch positions and you're like, where did my, where did my range go? But it's okay. We want these variations. And this is also another one, Clarissa. You can do them on all fours as well. So the change in gravity also makes different parts of it harder just from changing gravity. Yeah. And I also, the other week I did it in plank. I did it once and I think I like pulled my hip. Normally I'm a lot more careful with myself. All right, so let's do tibia, ankle, and then toes, and then we're going to get into it. So you can do it standing. So Clarissa, if you want to stand, you can. I'll show standing.
Oh,
it's all the same, right? It's all the same cueing. It's the same tibia. It's not like it's any different if I'm laying on my side, right? I'm just putting this block here. If you have one, fine. If you don't, it's not a big deal, but it does help you try to keep your femur and your knee shut, right? So the first thing you're going to do is externally rotate through the tibia. Oh, cool. Yeah, Clarissa, just find like this was a little too wide for me, but basically the idea is to just keep all of this not moving. Okay. And then shift your weight. Okay, everyone's doing it. Yay. Okay. Shift your weight to one leg. So let's say your right leg, shift your weight to the right leg. And you're going to lift the left off the floor just a little bit. Keep squeezing the block and bring the toes up towards the shin. So just make sure that there's a little bit of contraction in the front of your ankle. Externally rotate so your pinky toe comes out and then bring it forward 3/4 of the way. Internal, pull it back. External, bring it down towards the floor. Internal back, external down. Internal back and pause. And now bring it straight down. Know that your ankle is going to be super nosy. External back, internal down, especially on the internal. External back, internal down. Now you can roll your ankle. Keep your knee bent. roll your ankle 3 to 5 times in each direction. There you go. And then we'll just go right to the other side. Does that block help? Might make it harder, right? Everybody walk around with their blocks. So I'm going to lean onto my left leg, bend through the right knee, externally rotate through the tibia, and then bring it forward. Internal, pull it back. You don't want to straighten your leg completely. External down, internal back. External down, internal back, and pause, and bring it forward. External back, internal down. External pinky goes out to the side. Internal big toe comes in towards the midline of the body. 3, 2, and 1. Roll. The ankle, other direction. Other direction, and we'll shake it out. You're used to sitting down. Yeah, just give all these variables, because guess what? That's what you use in a day. If you practice a squat, you're not just doing this. You're like moving like a human. This helps you be better at being human. Not about like squatting down with weights, although it can help you do that. So toes, just lift all 10 toes up off the floor, tap the big toe down. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. That's for next month. Next month's ankles. Yeah. And lift all 10 toes, tap the 8 toes down. And now lift and spread the toes, and then drop the pinky, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Lift, spread, and piano key down. One more. Awesome. All right. Grab your pole. This extension strength work can be done standing, right? It can be done standing or seated. So whatever your body's feeling, right? Both of them work. So the first thing we're going to do is you have your pole in front of you. You're going to flip your arm in so that your palm is facing out. You got it. Yep. Grab it. Bring it behind you. Now you don't want to twist, right? Do you see this difference? We want to make sure that our body is forward and we're reaching back and lifting the pole up off the ground. Find your end, which means that it should be a challenge, right? You should feel your muscles working and it should feel a little bit hard. Carol, flip your palm. So hold it, your knuckle. Yeah. And then you're going to let the pole drop down towards the ground. So that way you're staying in your end range, and just adjust if you need to. You may feel a stretch. Do you feel a stretch here? Okay, awesome. We're going to stay here for a little bit of time. I don't want you to do the things that I'm about to tell you. I'm just preparing you, because this stretch we're going to stay in for about another minute. The reason that we stay in a stretch before we work the end range is to calm our nervous system, because we're not used to being in our end range. We do not want to move into pain, and we don't want to shock our system, right? This is our way of just breathing in. And so the first thing that we're going to do eventually, so just stay focused and breathing, and you can even brace through your body a little bit. First thing that we're going to do is actually drive the pole into the ground, but imagine that it's all coming from here. I can push the pole into the ground with my hand, right? I'm doing that right now, but I want to really try to push down from up here, from the shoulder, and it should fire up all of the stuff that's on stretch. We're going to do that lightly. I'm going to tell you to increase the volume. That's where you check yourself, right? You don't have to keep going when I say keep going. You're going to find a nice consistent pressure. And then we're going to do the reverse. Our whole body stays the same, stays still, braced, and then we're going to try to lift the pole off the ground. Okay. We're going to do one long round, And it's not really long, but then we'll do one short round. So find your spot, take a nice exhale and see if you can bring the front ribs down and in when you exhale. Bracing through the body, 3, 2, 1, drive the pole down into the ground. You may even feel this lightly, right? Shouldn't be a strain yet. You might even feel this all the way down the bicep. Turn up the volume a little bit more. Remember, from the shoulder, you're initiating that push down from the shoulder. And your hand, your knuckles just coming along for the ride. Turn it up a little bit more if you have it, or just stay right here. Nice consistent pressure. We're going to hold it. When I count down from 3, you're going to keep your whole body braced and you're going to try to lift the pole off the ground. 3, 2, 1, and lift. You're going to feel the opposite. When I shut, oh, that's perfect, Clarissa. That's so it, right? 3, 2, 1. Slowly. It's not the wrong place. I'll watch you next. I'll watch you in the short round. You're relaxing down, but you're coming back into the stretch. You're not going to flop around. You worked hard to find that sweet spot, right? When I count down from 3, this is going to be a short round. We're going to drive down, we're going to lift, and then we're going to relax and do the other side. 3, 2, 1, push the pole down, push the pole down. Nice consistent pressure. 3, 2, 1, and lift off the ground. And 3, 2, 1, slowly lower and release out. It's one of my favorites. This is also one of my favorites that gets me so sore. Just doing one round. It's like, you know, like all those tricep dips. I can't do those. I never feel my triceps in those. Maybe if I tried it now, it's a possibility. So other side. So is everybody doing their left now? Okay. Hold the pole. I'm just going to walk you through this. Hold the pole. Hold the pole with your right hand and reach with your left to grab the pole with your palm facing out to the left. Swing it around. You can bring your feet wide. We want stability first, always. You don't want to be like almost toppling over because your legs are like this, right? So really have a nice take up space. We want stability, and then we want to find the line of tension. So you reach back with the pole, reach back and up, find that end range where you feel a lot of contraction and maybe you just can't go any further, and then allow the pole to drop down towards the ground. Bring those front ribs down and in, just breathe through it. I've already walked you through what we're going to do. The second one always goes a little bit faster. Maybe even square off your chest towards the front of the room. You might feel an increase in the sensation. This isn't about chasing more sensation. It's just about finding a line of tension, which might be very muted, or it might be a lot, and we just don't ever want to move into pain. No movement is wrong unless you're moving into pain. When someone says like, oh, your knee shouldn't go over your toe, tell them to stop. Good luck getting on the toilet and walking up and down the stairs without training your knee to go over your feet. I had this conversation the other day and it got very heated. It's because they don't want to train you how to do it. It's easier to keep you safe to tell you not to put your knee over your foot. And it's just something that people learned. Yeah. So in 3, 2, 1, work from here. It feels a lot different, doesn't it? Instead of just moving your fingers, like imagining you're pushing from right here. You can even put your hand on your shoulder and push into your hand. That helps you kind of concentrate in there. We start off lightly and then we're just turning up the volume. Racing through the body. Any exhale that you choose, you can see if you can bring those front ribs down and in. Turn it up a little bit more, find a nice challenging effort and hold. Hold it. Stay there, don't lose the contraction. There you go. Okay. And 3, 2, 1, you're gonna lift. Lift the pole. That's it. That's all you need.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't have the pole on this side.
3, 2, 1, and slowly lower it down. Find that stretch again. So Carol's reminding me, when you lift the pole, it doesn't mean you're actually going to lift the pole. When I'm in my end range, which I'll show you, that's me lifting the pole. If your mind is going, the pole has to lift, right? You might go like this. That's here. Carol, see that? Yeah. So when you lift, it doesn't mean you have to actually lift. The contraction matters more. And if you're doing that, you're including your shoulder blade, which can also, you know, you could feel it here. So really concentrating just on that shoulder. So let's do our short round and let's all practice that, right? Try to not include this part, just the lift. And I'm doing that in air quotes. All right. 3, 2, 1, drive the pole down. Drive the pole down. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Really concentrate on that tricep. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, and slowly lower it down. And now you feel all jiggly. That's one of my favorite ones ever. Okay, let's do that's extension. Okay, so shoulder extension, and now we're going to do hip extension. So you can hold on to the pole, but let's come into a seated position. Yes, there are other options here where you don't have to be seated. I could show you those, or we could all just enjoy it from our chair. And I'll be able to show you from another time. And did I see you have a stool, Clarissa? That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, stuff without like arms is really helpful. And yeah, if any of you have a stool at home, it's awesome because you can even, you know, spin all the way around. Oh, saddle stool is actually like the bomb for this. And here's why. So we're going to be going into a low lunge on the chair. So turn yourself to the left. And we want this right leg to be free and like be able to drop off the chair. Okay. So you might have to scoot your bum over. And we're targeting this line of tension here. Everyone's going to feel it at a different spot. And here's little tips. Oh, thank you. Oh, perfect. All right. So this, the foot is, my knee is like right in front of my, I'm just going to say my left nipple. That's the first thing that I looked at. My left eye. Right. And then your knee is dropping down. Now your knee can be in line with your hip, right? Does anyone already feel a stretch in the front of their quad, right? Now your toes ideally are curled under. If you cannot curl your toes under and get some like push off of them, you can take a block and place that block right underneath your shin. Do you see that difference? I can still push and get some leverage off of that. So here's the kicker. This is where you might go, or close one eye. I would love for all of us to tuck your pelvis under. How did that change that sensation in the front of your quad? Right? So keep that tucked under. The pole, right, is just another way that we can brace. I'm going to, again, we're going to stay in this. We're just going to breathe, inhale, exhale. You can inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, whatever you want to do. Just stay in this stretch and try your best to settle into this stretch while I tell you what we're going to do next. The motion, is this your first time doing this, Allison? Woo! So the motion that we're going to do, that we're actually going to stop with our toes, like we're going to see, I'm trying to pull my knee forward, is this, but we're not going to let it happen, which means that we're pushing from here, just like with the shoulder, right? This is extension of the hip. It sounds weird. It's a very weird concept because you're like, wait, if our goal is to get the knee forward, why aren't we letting the knee go forward? You'll feel it. So we have a stable position. I'm even holding on to the back of my chair. You can hold on to the seat of your chair. When I count down from 3, you're going to push the knee down and forward, just down and forward. 3, 2, 1. Start off lightly. Get a feel for it. Keep the pelvis tucked under, right? Do you feel that line of tension fire up a little bit? Yes. This is, by the way, this is like the best thing ever before a walk, right? Turn it up a little bit more. If you need to, you can put your hand on your thigh to have an external thing to push into. It's going to change what you feel. So push, turn it up a little bit more. Find your safest, greatest effort here. You might have shaking. That's totally up to you. You can push hard enough that you shake. That's not the goal though, but it can happen. When I count down from 3, you're going to drive your heel back. You're not going to move your pelvis or anything up above your pelvis. You're going to keep the pelvis tucked. 3, 2, 1, drive the heel back. This is grosser, I think, than the first move. Push the heel back, drive it back, 3, 2, 1, and relax out, but stay in the stretch. Reposition, tuck the pelvis under. We're going to do a short round. 3, 2, 1. Push the knee down towards the floor and then try to push it forward, reach it forward. Your toes are stopping it. 3, 2, 1, drive the heel back. Drive it back. 3, 2, 1, gently relax out. You can even roll over the top of your toes because that can kind of feel really good. Now, take it for my favorite term, take it for a test drive. You might feel like you have a peg leg. Do you feel like a peg leg? Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And you may also notice that your right leg, you feel like taller on your right leg. Right? This is, congratulations, your femur just found the back of your socket. And why is this important? When we walk, not only is ankle dorsiflexion important, but that we can actually extend through our hip, right? So extension, if you walk, you might actually feel like your right foot is going back for a longer period of time, right? You might have more extension in that one side. Isn't that cool? Is that so cool? So cool. All right, let's do the other side. And whenever I start to do the other side, when we're in the stretch, I'm going to show you a couple different variations, okay? But just let's find our stable spot. Let your left butt cheek kind of hang off the ground here, hang off the chair, and find the good knee position. This side, your toes may not like extension, so you can always pull that block underneath your shin. And if you do have the block underneath your shin, that's what you're going to be pushing down into and pushing forward. So everybody find it, tuck your pelvis under. How are you doing, Carol? Do you want the block? Is your toe stopping you?
No.
Okay. Do you feel a stretch in the front of your thigh? Awesome. Tucking the pelvis under just elongates the front of the leg. So find that, and we're gonna stay here for a little bit, and then I'm gonna get off the chair and show you a different version. Right? So now my knee is making contact with the ground. And when we start, I can still tuck my pelvis under, keep my rib cage down and in, and then I'm driving my knee forward, but the floor is stopping me. So it's a little bit more concentrated in the knee. And then you can also come up and be like this, right? So this is fine too, because stability and finding the line of tension. If you find the line of tension and your legs out here, great. Do the pails and rails here. We need all of this, these types of variations. All right. When I count down from 3, we're going to begin. This is the action that we're going to not let happen. And it's all going to be initiated from this section here, not pushing our toes into the ground or anything like that. 3, 2, 1. Really explore around. We're just lightly driving the knee down and forward, like you're smushing. What would you be smushing? A bug? No, not with your knee. What would you be doing? Your butt cheek wants to get involved? Good. Why? Your knee's not doing anything really. This is. This and this.
Like when it takes over.
Ooh, internally rotate your leg, your femur a little bit. Sorry, that was loud. Kinstretch, if you look up Kinstretch face, it's a real thing. So you hashtag Kinstretch face and there's just a bunch of like this. Yeah, it's really great. All right, I'm forgetting about you, sorry. Okay, find a nice, safest, greatest effort and hold it there. And when I count down from 3, you're gonna drive your heel back. 3, 2, 1. Drive the heel back, drive it back, drive it back. This is where you might feel your bum. Ooh, yeah. Get it, Lisa. 3, 2, and 1. Relax out, but just find that stretch again. Some of your knee might be coming out to the side, right? Or coming too far in. That can all determine where you're feeling it. But Lisa, that's great exploring, right? You're trying not to use your bum. It doesn't mean that my bum is working this whole time, but you're exploring. So you're trying to find different. 3, 2, 1, drive it forward, drive it forward. 3, 2, 1, heel drives back. Drive it back, drive it back, and slowly relax out. Oh, yeah. Oh, now I feel like jelly. Feel like jelly? It feels so good. It's like this, someone else can describe what they're feeling, but it's like this, it's just like warm and you feel like blood flow. And it's like, it's just smooth. Yeah. So we're going to, I never understood this term, and I know some of you have heard this. Save your work. It makes so much sense. So the work that we just did, we're going to save it just like you would save a document. And we're going to do some sloppy hip cars, a few on each side. Okay. So I'm just going to use the wall and sloppy meaning like just really just move it through the motions of the cars, or you can do it slow. That's fine. But I just want you to feel how it may or may not feel different after. Knee pulls in, swings out, internal back. Kick it back and peel the knee away. Just do a few on each side. Oh, and then we'll just close out with one shoulder car. Holding the bowls of soup, crossing them over the front, up and reach it back. This is where you might feel that extension feel a little different when you reach back, kick it back, and bring it around. Nice. Yeah. We worked it. Feels good, right? So that was extension in the shoulders, extension of the hips. So we did a lot of this. This, like. All right, I'll send you that cars video,
Okay.
because if you enjoy
that's
it,
great.
you just get that going, you know?
Okay. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is great. I feel like all juiced up.
Yes. All right, have a great day.
You too. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.